with Richard Garalick. I'm Amanda. That's Richard. You can join us here every Thursday at 12:30 to talk about everything food related in Baltimore. This Week in Baltimore Eating is brought to you by Eddie's of Roland Park, your neighborhood gourmet grocer on Roland Avenue and North Charles Street in Baltimore. Richard.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yes.
Let's talk about Jews and Christmas.
Christmas. What a segue. You know, here's the thing.
Yes.
About, you know that.
I don't mince words, by the way.
Saturday Night Live bit about Hanukkah for the Jews? No, Christmas for the Jews. And how great it was because the Jews had the whole city to themselves. And it was a New York
and you could just take over.
You take over. You go to a movie. You can get into any restaurant you want to. And it was less true, but still true in Baltimore. I mean, I had some great memorable Christmas days in Baltimore as a Jew going to a movie. Here's the thing about Jews and eating Chinese food. I believe that was absolutely a real thing in New York City and Manhattan. In
once upon a time when that was the only kind of restaurant that was open,
right?
Because they weren't celebrating Christmas either.
My theory, and I can't back it up except by anecdote, is that it was less of a thing in Baltimore to eat Chinese food on Christmas Day. I just don't think there were ever that many options. I just don't remember it being a huge thing, although I'm sure it was a thing.
I want everyone out there watching to tell us if you've actually done this. I have not eaten Chinese food on Christmas. I haven't done that. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I'm usually at someone's Christmas thing.
Listen, I love the idea of it, and in my fake memories, I did it.
We've all done it.
We've all done
that.
But I really don't think it was that big of a thing in Baltimore. But it's only been the past 10 years that Christmas has changed for everybody. Christmas is not. Things are open on Christmas.
Things are open now. And regular people can also go eat whatever they want on Christmas.
And people generally do. Now, we found a list of Baltimore restaurants that are open on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And there are more open on Christmas Eve than Christmas Day. Like, we found a list, and I'm sure you can find one online, too. Looks like all of the Foreman Wolf restaurants are open, like Bar Vasquez and Chingale and Johnny's.
Charleston.
And Charleston on Christmas Eve. Hey, and Chingale's having a Feast of the Seven Fishes.
That's fun.
Cosima is having a Sicilian Christmas Eve dinner. We're talking a lot about Christmas, but
because we are supposedly free and we get to do whatever we want that day.
And we should take advantage.
But it's probably hard to make some reservations because like we talked about on Thanksgiving, it's now a thing to go eat because it's so much easier and so much less pressure and people's families are all over the place now. So it's maybe becoming a thing to eat out.
It may be becoming a thing. And, preparing a Christmas Eve dinner and Christmas Day dinner is a lot of work. So just like Thanksgiving, people are going out more and more. I had a great Christmas Eve dinner one year at Aldo's when we did the Feast of the Seven Fishes. Sat at the bar. So Christmas Day, fewer places are open. Their Soda Sopra is open every Christmas Day, and it's so beautiful in there.
It's so nice.
Wit and Wisdom down at the Four Seasons is open, and B&O Brasserie is open from 5 to 9, but still you can have a nice Christmas dinner. And here's something else I wanted to tell you. Aldo's does lunch service only for 1 week every year, and it's next week, Monday through Friday.
That's
and
fun.
You can order from the regular menu or a $39 prefix menu. It's a really nice way to spend that holiday week with coworkers or friends when they come into town.
But here's the other question. Do you want to get into the whole thing about going out to eat because then you're supporting people having to work on their holiday?
Oh, no. I don't mean to be a Scrooge about it, but I assume, and I shouldn't assume, that most people working those shifts are doing it by choice.
Okay.
I mean, I hate to think that they're being coerced or forced into doing it, but
I hope not. I hope no one's being forced to do anything, but who knows in this day and age, right?
There are far, far fewer restaurants open on Christmas Day, which I think is still held dear to people. But Christmas Eve, I think you can do a shift at your restaurant and still be home in time to do whatever traditional things you do on Christmas Eve. Did you do anything for Hanukkah?
No, I went to Stoop Storytelling. That was on the first night of Hanukkah, and it was great. There were some Hanukkah stories, but I didn't eat. Okay, so I was at Belvedere Square, so I went to the market and I tried to get a lobster roll for Hanukkah.
Wow.
From Mason's. There was a line. There was a line, and it was basically standing room only. So I went over to Atwater's and had a nice sandwich.
Someone posted a photograph of one of the lobster rolls on my Facebook page. It looked really good.
I saw it. It looked good.
It looked good.
Yeah.
And apparently you can choose to have it made with either butter or mayonnaise.
Yeah, they're doing both options.
What would you choose?
I would choose. Is the butter the warm one? I would choose the warm and probably butter, I think.
I would choose warm butter.
Yeah, definitely. So it's interesting that you mentioned Soda Sopra because a coworker here the other day was asking for somewhere she could go that would be festive.
Festive.
And I said Little Italy. I said it pretty much doesn't get more festive than Little Italy, but I wish I had thought of Soda Sopra. That would probably have been a really good option.
Pretty, 365 days a
Always
year,
really
especially
nice
pretty
in
for
there.
Christmas. And the most beautiful tree I've seen in a restaurant is at Pen and Quill. They've got a
really?
beautiful tree.
That's
there.
a good suggestion.
Pen and
then.
Quill, right next to the 2 doors down from the Charles Theater.
Okay.
Really
Yeah, I didn't notice. I was in there a few weeks ago, but they probably didn't have their tree up.
Gertrude usually does their thing with staff gingerbread houses.
Oh, that's cute too.
it's
See?
always pretty.
I knew you would know where to go for festive.
And the Diz goes full out.
Oh,
just
that's just
old
fun.
school, take up every inch of space with Christmas decorations.
Okay, that's actually a really good choice. That
And,
would be good.
This time of year, people really enjoy something that's truly enjoyable, which is going up to see the 34th Street display, walking through there, and
I
then
did
getting a bite to eat in that neighborhood.
I did it, and I went to Little Grano.
Yep.
Yep,
See?
did that. If you just got here, you're watching This Week in Baltimore Eating with Richard Gorella, brought to you by Eddie's Roland Park. Celebrate the Festival of Lights with Eddie's popular latkes, roast brisket, and European apple cake. And check out their unique Hanukkah gifts and cards. Be sure to comment, like, and share, and follow us at #JMoreEating. Tell us what your Christmas traditions are. We know you've got them.
Yeah, I mean, it's controversial still, but Christmas to me, I just treat it like a winter solstice festival, like a pagan
So
solstice
what do you do
festival.
on Christmas Eve and Christmas?
Here's what's happened for Christmas dinner is I've been going to the same dinner every year for the past, I think, 10 or 12 years. My cousin's wife lost her father about 10 years ago, and her mother, Dory, wanted a lot of people around the holiday table, the Christmas table, so it wouldn't feel so
Makes sense.
lonely. And I
Yep.
answered the call. I accepted the invitation.
Good job.
I've been locked in ever since. And about 8 years in, it started to dawn on me that it was exactly the same every year with zero variation. And it started to unnerve me and make me uncomfortable. But then I found out that they knew it, that they started referring to it as their Groundhog Day
Totally on purpose.
Christmas dinner, and they loved that part about it, and that made me love it too. But for a while, I thought they didn't know that it was the same every year, and I thought I was losing my mind. I really, really like going to that Christmas dinner. That's my holiday. That's my. How about yours?
Christmas Eve, I have a standing cocktail party that I attend, and they play Christmas music. My stepfather is Catholic, and he really loves his Christmas music. I mean, he loves it to the point that he it's like torture to me and my mom, and but he insists, and it's his one day that he gets to do it. Well, also his birthday is December 23rd, so it's his time of year, right?
Does he get separate gifts or one gift?
We get separate gifts, but it's a challenge because you're like, we have to find a pile for this, and we have to find a pile for that. It's a challenge, but he does get separate gifts, and I make sure to wrap them differently. My mom's not so good about that. She just throws it all in the Christmas
just
paper.
having this conversation with someone whose mother has a birthday right around Christmas, and woe betide this child who tries to give one combination gift or not wrap them
Nope.
separately.
It's not all right. So Christmas Eve cocktail party, and then I go to my mom and her husband's for Christmas, and we do Christmas. I'm that kind of Jew because that's how blended families are now.
That's how blended families are, and I enjoy Christmas, but just don't think of it as I don't think of it as a Jesus holiday. I think of it as a family time. Family festival.
And what was really interesting about Stoop the other night was hearing everyone's different traditions, and it's so fascinating. Like, one family has a all-out costume party every year for Christmas. Like 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 a theme. Like one year it was togas, one year it was like King Arthur or something. And that's who I never thought of that, but I love it.
That's a really
It's
intense
crazy.
family. Wow.
I know, they're like really intense. It's a big, super big family, Baltimore Catholic family. And then somebody else was saying that any of the they got presents from parents, but any of the presents that were left by Santa were not wrapped. I find that totally bizarre. Why would Santa's presents not be wrapped?
Well, that's just inaccurate.
It's just wrong. But that's how this family does that. And so, like, can you imagine coming out and you're at the tree and there's all these wrap presents, and you know those are the ones from the parents, blah, blah, and then there's, like, just good presents sitting there.
They made that up.
I think so, too. It was
completely
really
made
weird.
that up because they didn't want to wrap those.
It was really weird.
Hey,
What's new? What's new in town?
There's a new donut shop opening.
Speaking
in
of
Hampden
Hanukkah.
on Saturday, this Saturday, it's in the same location where two previous donut shops came and went. The most recent one was Center Cut Donut. This one's called Full Circle Artisan Palace, and it's a joint venture between Courtney Fix, formerly of Sundays at Doobie's, and Heather Cedeno. And it's opening this weekend. It sounds like a lot of fun. There'll be not just donuts, but some interesting flavors like the burger cookie or the French toast.
Interesting.
So I think they'll be branching out beyond donuts. But
And
that's something to look forward to.
I think the thing that was there, which was super popular, I thought they were going to go try to do something else.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
There are also donuts from Doug Wetzel from Gertrude's. His sideline is Donut Stop Believing. He'll be doing a pop-up
like
this
that.
Saturday at the 32nd Street Farmers Market.
Oh, nice.
Big donut week.
And it's last week of the farmer's market.
This is the other one. This is the one in Waverly. They go
the
year
Waverly
round.
market.
But it is the last.
It is the
weekend
last week of the
for
farmer's
Baltimore
market.
Farmers
Yeah,
Market. So you can say goodbye to all your favorite vendors. And what do you buy in the last week? You buy gifts
yeah. You buy,
and greens
and stuff you might want to cook with. I don't know.
squashes.
Yeah. I don't know what you buy in the last week. Brussels sprouts?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Brussels sprouts. Anything else new that you want to tell us about?
Was there? I think so. No, we heard that there is another pop-up at the R House.
There
R
is.
as in the letter R House in Remington. R is in Remington. The Veranda, which is a full-time store in Hampden, is having a pop-up. Let's see. What is today? The 14th? Yes.
Yes.
So it's today through next Tuesday. And they'll be serving things at the pop-up that they don't normally serve in Hampden. So that's always fun to check out
Good.
these pop-ups.
Yeah, I like that they have. That's what I like about our house is that there's always the revolving door of changing fun stuff.
I like our house. I'm hungry.
I guess you are because we're
Yeah.
just talking about food.
Food. So
I
think that's about it for this week.
okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about your traditions. We want to hear that. Also, where do you stand on the ugly sweater debate? Because we've been debating this in the office a lot, and
How's
now
it a debate?
well, some people think that there shouldn't be Hanukkah ugly sweaters because then it's like totally not what Hanukkah's about and commercialism and all that. I'm fine with them. I think they're funny.
I think Hanukkah's pretty joyful, and anything you do to make it more joyful and celebratory.
And Jews are always laughing about something, so let's be funny.
And Jews have all lived all over the world and have absorbed traditions from other people, not just Christians, but other people. So I would vote in favor of ugly sweaters.
That was a world peace way to come about that conclusion. I like
believe it. I believe
Look at
it.
you. You're
Foods,
in the
traditional
season.
foods we think of as Jewish are
Moroccan and
Right.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Africa. Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for us today. Tune in every Thursday at 12:30 for the Week in Baltimore Eating, which has been brought to you by Eddie's of Roland Park, your source for quality prepared foods, deli sandwiches, fresh produce, and signature gift baskets. Learn more at eddiesofrolandpark.com. Follow us at #JMoreEating. Tell your friends. Have a happy Hanukkah. What else?
Happy Hanukkah for sure. And we did talk a lot about Christmas, but we really do.
We
love
are
Hanukkah.
having Hanukkah still.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.